Welcome to Jump Cuts. Today is Sunday, October 6th, as we're doing this live. I am your host of Master of Ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and today I'm joined by...
Tim M. Sullivan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Sullivan, back from episode 1. I had to beg him to come back. Thank you, Tim. There's,
no problem.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Plenty of news to discuss this week. And there was a bit of a live story getting in right now. A somewhat live story, about, maybe one of the most historic box office flops I have seen in quite a long time. Now, I'm not a studio accountant. I do not think this stuff actually matters, but I do think it's interesting to follow along. So let's get right into it. You and I saw it Thursday night. Joker 2, Joker Folie Deux. Boy, is this shit bombing hard.
Yep.
You and I are both not fans of it. I more so than you, I think. I already have my review out.
I'm more like, I was driving you home and you were like very angry about your feelings, and I kind of just didn't care.
That's fair. Sorry, guys, I have a cough right now.
I was just kind of like, yeah, that sucked.
Well, I mean, I turned to you as soon as the thing turned to black, and I was like, wow, that sucked. We saw it in the same theater we saw the first one in 5 years ago. It's changed owners since then. But I think it was a similar experience watching the first movie. Which is that you were just like, yeah, that wasn't that good. And I'm just like the whole ride home getting progressively upset about it. And then it happened again. Yeah. It happened again here. Not a good movie. For a multitude of reasons. I have a review out there. I imagine my thoughts mostly echo yours, more or less. It's not great.
It's not great.
Not great.
I will say the cartoon in the opening 5 minutes, that shit rocked.
Yes, you know what? Yes, I forgot. That was great.
And if you are able, to see this in 4DX, just buy the ticket for the first 5 minutes and leave.
Yeah, leave. Try to get your money back if you can. We saw it in 4DX, which was a hilarious, absurd way to watch Joker 2. And it was evident by how the first 5 minutes, great!
Yeah, the first 5 minutes, they fully utilized all of the tools in the 4DX tool bag. And, I've never really done 4DX before, but, I felt like I was on a Six Flag ride. That was cool. And then the rest of the time is just, kind of rumbling when he was in a car or something.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was, the first 5 minutes is sort of like an excellent introduction to 4DX as a concept. That sort of falls apart.
Yeah.
Falls apart after that.
I think I'll get to the reason you put this on our news list, which is that I got an email from IGN that said, Joker 4K Blu-ray already on sale.
I saw that you can already pre-order it. The weekend isn't even over yet.
It's bad. It's real bad.
We got someone in the chat, Big Mitch, saying there were some things that were good to great. The performances, the colors and cinematography, musical numbers were good. Was a good idea, though not all work. 2.5 out of 5. I get it. Like I said, I think I even said this, the first 20 to 30 minutes, this what makes it more frustrating than the first movie for me. The first 20 to 30 minutes threaten to be interesting. And are interesting. They're setting up a lot of cool stuff with the Harley Quinn thing. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. And then it devolves into a courtroom drama that just litigates the events of the first movie. Kind of just a weird direction to go.
I saw a meme that was like, Joker, I think I'm gonna kill myself. Harley Quinn. And I've made peace with that.
Yeah. James the Nerd saying he thinks it was a cash grab from the beginning. Maybe. Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix definitely made out like fucking bandits if, because I don't understand how this movie cost $190 million. Tim, you know what another movie that came out this year that cost $190 million was?
That number sounds familiar.
Dune Part 2.
What? That was only 190 million?
Yeah. But I want you to think about watching Joker 2 and thinking about the fact that it cost the same amount of money as Dune 2. Just let that sit with you. What the fuck did they spend the money on? Drugs and salary, man. I heard Todd Phillips and Joaquin got like 30 plus mil each.
Yeah.
I hope everyone made out like bandits. Folie Dune. I think my review of it is Folie Deuce, because it's poopy, stinky, ew, stinky butthole, ew.
True words have never been spoken.
James the Nerd saying he can't really think of any movie that won Oscars with sequels. I understand that. The Godfather Part 2 exists. But by that same merit, The Godfather Part 3 exists. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's projected to make under $40 million in its opening weekend when the original made like $90+ million.
Yeah.
And Jason Secord is right. It lost a lot of the Oscars it was up for. It only won 2. It won music and acting, which famously I said if it won anything other than those 2, I was going to go to school the next day in Joker makeup.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. That was a whole thing. And I remember when Best Picture was being called, I had my phone on you because I was like, if either Joker wins and he cries from sadness, or Marriage Story wins and he cries from happiness, I want this on video. And then Parasite won, and it was just everybody in the room losing their minds.
It was a great time.
It was amazing.
It was a good time. It was the best of times.
It was the happiest we ever would be for a long time after that.
Yep, because that was like late February 2020. We didn't know. We didn't know how good we had it and how bad things were about to become.
We didn't know.
Big Mitch in the chat saying he didn't even watch it in theaters. He found a solid rip online. That's correct. That's how you watch this movie.
That's fair.
Now, I wanted to get that out of the way so we could start the episode on a bit of a funny note. Because when I was putting together the news for this week, Tim, a lot of fucking people died the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So much so that I kind of limited it to 3 people.
Yeah.
And we're kind of probably just gonna roll this all into one piece of news.
Yeah.
Ken Page, St. Louis native, passed away. More known for his Broadway stuff, but
did not know he was a St. Louis native.
He is a St. Louis native. Mostly known for his Broadway stuff, but you and I probably know him best as being the villain in Henry Selick's The Nightmare Before Christmas, in which he plays Oogie Boogie. Fantastic performance, fantastic man. From what I understand, he did a lot for arts in the area, and he's going to be missed.
Yeah, for sure. I don't really know anything he was in outside of that, but yeah, very, very sad that he passed. And again, did not know that he was a St. Louis native. So
yeah,
that's slightly more sad for us.
That's why I wanted to put it in there, because it's sad when one of our locals passes away.
Yeah.
It's also sad when such a legend of the film industry, such as Dame Maggie Smith, passes away. Let's get the obvious out of the way. She was a big part of the Harry Potter movies. She also had a lot of other fantastic work, but I always loved seeing her in a movie, and that one was a bit of a sucker punch. Reading that she passed away, for sure.
Yeah. Again, Professor McGonagall is the role I know her most as, but like I remember the day she died, me and Cody watched Sister Act together, and she was very good in that as well. Not super familiar with her other work. I know she was in Downton Abbey and had a very prolific career, but yeah, very sad.
Downton Abbey and a bazillion other things. Jason Secord's in the chat saying, I like Ian McKellen's story about Maggie Smith ripping in him for not winning an Oscar. I haven't heard that story. I'll have to look that up later. Sundown McMoon in the chat also brought up in regards to Ken Page. He was King Gator in All Dogs Go to Heaven. I forgot about that. Really, really a prestigious Broadway actor, voice actor, a legend. Dame Maggie Smith was a legend. But to me, the biggest one of the last 2 weeks, and this was the biggest one, more so because of his outside movie career, though he did have a pretty solid movie career. Kris Kristofferson passed away. 88 years old. Kristofferson's a legend. Kristofferson made a lot of fantastic music. I don't know how you feel about country music, Tim. I'm a fan of it. And he made a lot of great country music.
I don't listen to a lot of country, so I'm not as familiar with him personally. But sad that he's lost, for sure.
But in regards to this show, movie news, I mean, he was the male lead in the 70s A Star Is Born. He was in the first 2 Blade movies. He was quite a damn good... Is he in Trinity?
I think I saw that on his IMDb.
Maybe then. Trinity. I know he's in the first 2 for sure. I don't tend to rewatch Trinity. It's bad. He's awesome in those movies. He has a great scene in the first movie where he comes in and saves the day. It's great. He's going to be missed. He's going to be missed for sure. That's a sad one. Okay. Yeah. I front-loaded all the death this week.
Yeah. The death of Joker and the real-life deaths.
The real-life deaths, the death of Joker. Let's get into the start of something. Kendrick Lamar. Well, I guess we're still kind of on death because he kind of killed Drake's career. But Kendrick Lamar.
Got him.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. No. Kendrick Lamar and South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parkey. Trey Parkey.
Parkey.
Yo, my name's Trey Parkey. Yeah, let me try that again. Matt Stone and Trey Parker are teaming up with Kendrick Lamar to film a comedy movie. I kind of put this in more because I knew you were going to be here, Tim, because I know you like Matt Stone and Trey Parker quite a bit. So what do you think of this one?
Yeah, so I mean, I know obviously you're not a fan of South Park. For me, South Park sort of falls in the like proper guilty pleasure category, like the kind of guilty pleasure that like John Cena was talking about when he said his guilty pleasure was Behind the Green Door. It's, I recognize that it has its issues, but it's a comfort show for me. But I do think some of the more interesting things they've done have been some of their movies, namely South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and Team America World
Which
Police.
I actually like the South Park movie. Make of that what you will.
Yeah. And also the Book of Mormon, obviously. I finally got to see that earlier this year. It was
the Fox,
great.
right?
Somebody sitting right next to me left before the first act was over. It was very funny.
Reminds me of all the people that left Joker 2 when we saw it, when they, and like every single musical sequence in Joker 2. I'm sorry, circling back to this real quick. Someone left the theater, I swear to God, every time. Like half the theater was gone by the time the movie ended, Tim. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. I did notice that, like, at some point towards the end, a particular group left, and, like, there was a woman in the group who was, like, angrily talking about how pissed off she was at the movie as she was leaving.
And the couple to our right left, and then, well, he didn't physically leave. That guy to our left kind of passed out pretty quickly, and he was snoring through most of the musical.
Yeah. Sorry.
Back to Matt Stone, Trey Parker.
And anyway, this Matt Stone, Trey Parker, Kendrick Lamar thing. It should be interesting. I'm trying to remember the premise. I think it was like he's dating a white woman who turned out to have ancestors who owned his ancestors.
Yeah, here we go.
Or something.
Depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Holy shit!
Yeah, I forgot about the slave reenactor bit. Yeah, that I think has potential for some comedy gold, particularly with Kendrick Lamar at the helm of it.
That's incredible. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I just kind of put it in there because the Matt Stone Trey Parker bit. I didn't notice the synopsis. I'm there opening fucking night, man. That sounds insane. Yeah, that also sounds like it could be a gigantic fucking train wreck. So it could go either way.
Yeah, it is definitely a line they have to teeter properly. But again, like, knowing Kendrick is at the helm of it, I think makes me confident that it'll be good.
Kendrick's great. So, I mean, I trust them. And again, premise-wise, this sounds kind of amazing. Yeah, that's a great premise. Well, we talked about the second Blade movie briefly a little while ago, which is fitting because the second Blade movie was directed by Guillermo Del Toro, but that's not the only superhero movie he did. He also directed the first two Hellboy movies, which is fitting because our next topic of conversation is Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Segues.
I'm the best at them. I'm the best at them. Nobody segues better than me. Hellboy the Crooked Man, which is the second Hellboy reboot in the past 5 years, is skipping theaters and is going straight to digital. You and I will be able to watch this Tuesday. Now, I will say, I do think it has a theatrical release in Australia, so this might just be a US distributor thing. I haven't watched the trailer for this Hellboy movie. I'm not confident in it. I feel like Hellboy as a cinematic brand is kind of just really tarnished at this point.
Yeah, I haven't seen a trailer. I don't really care to. Like, if it's not directed by Guillermo Del Toro and starring Ron Perlman, I don't want it. Yeah, that's basically my 2 cents on that.
I don't want to be that reductive about it because I do think a good creative team could do some great stuff with Hellboy. But it seems to me that the cause of the rift in the first place is that Max Mignola wanted more creative control. And the more creative control he got, his name's not Max Mignola, it's something else, isn't it? Mike Mignola. Thank you. Mike Mignola wanted more creative control, and it seems like the more creative control he's had over these live action movies, the worse they've gotten.
That's fair. It is sort of a thing of, like, at a certain point, you really just have to trust your director to direct. Like, obviously, you know, if it's your baby, you don't want it to be ruined, but at the same time, you have to trust that a filmmaker knows how to make a good film. Especially when it's fucking Guillermo Del Toro.
Well, yeah, I trust Del Toro completely. He's a genius. I'm just saying, other people can make a good Hellboy movie, I think. We just have yet to see evidence of it. allegedly
True.
other people can make a good Hellboy movie. Because for example, Ethan or Sundown McMoon in the chat is asking, were the animated films any good? I don't know. Never watched them.
I liked them. They were fine. So that does fall under. I don't think Del Toro directed those, obviously, but it does have the same voice cast.
Yeah, Perlman's involved.
It feels like it's in the same world as the Del Toro ones. So I did like those.
I'll admit, when I read Hellboy comics, I read Hellboy's voice in Perlman's voice.
We got it.
And Jason Secord in the chat saying, apparently Del Toro wanted to make a third movie of Hellboy, specifically because a kid with cancer requested it as a part of his Make-A-Wish. All right, I'm backtracking. Del Toro or bust.
True.
That's depressing. Holy shit. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. That's insane. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of continuations of franchises that might be disappointing, we had a trailer drop in the last couple of weeks for a movie called, this is fucking insane, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. Trailer dropped. Before we even talk about this goddamn trailer, I need to talk about that name. What the fuck?
I refuse to refer to it by that full name. It's Ballerina. Come on,
From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. How?
Let's stop Mad Max sagaing all these titles.
They didn't used to be like this, man. Because you know what I didn't mind? I liked, because Rogue One was like, what? Rogue One, a Star Wars story? Yeah. I like a Star Wars story, okay. That was fine. What the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, we need to just let things be a tagline again.
Like, what are we doing here? I just, it's so lack of confidence. It's crazy. Be confident in your thing. I don't know what more to say. Yeah. That being said, the trailer looked okay.
Yeah, I thought it looked fun.
We saw it in front of Joker 2, actually.
Yeah, I don't necessarily expect it to meet the highs of the John Wick movies, but, like, should be a fun time.
Yeah. No, it should be a fun time. I will say this is directed by the guy that made the 2012 Total Recall movie and also, like, the last 3 Underworld movies. So we'll see. We'll see. I thought the trailer looked fine. I do think it's interesting they clearly shot this a while ago. Like, post-production clearly took a minute, or there was a lot of reshoots, because Lance Reddick is in this.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking John Wick Chapter 4, and, like, we were talking about how that was the last thing on his IMDb is the ballerina. So I guess, yeah, they had shot this well in advance.
Yeah, maybe they even shot his scenes during the John Wick 3 filming. I don't know. But it's interesting. I like the last John Wick movie. But that's the first of like 3 trailers we have on the docket this week. The second trailer we have for this week is for a movie you probably don't give a shit about. Tim?
I think I know which one.
Tim, we're talking about Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts Asterix. The trailer dropped officially. I'd actually already saw this trailer like a month ago when it leaked. But it dropped in HD this week. And Tim, I know you don't like the Marvel, but I gotta be honest. I thought this looked really fucking awesome. but I'm curious about your perspective as someone who does not give a shit about the Marvel machine.
First, I'll start by saying I don't have many opinions about the Thunderbolts per se, but my fiance has many opinions. Most prominent of which is that she is furious that they made Bucky a politician, because Bucky is her favorite character, and she's just like, Bucky would never.
Yeah, I heard he's a senator now, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Imagine murdering hundreds of people and getting to be a senator. I mean, well.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess that tracks.
Yeah, she despises that aspect of it, and I didn't watch the Black Widow movie. I didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I didn't watch, I don't remember what the other one was. But like a lot of the setup that went into this particular project is just shit where I'm just kind of looking at it like, looks like a fun action time though. So maybe, I don't know.
It looks like they had a gaffer on set, which is more than I can say about some other Marvel productions.
That's fair.
I'm watching Agatha all along right now, and oh my god, the scenes that take place on the Witch's Road outside, I can't fucking see what's going on. It's so goddamn dark. Yeah. Turn on a goddamn light bulb.
Yeah. I will, just for the record, withdraw my gaffer comment about Deadpool and Wolverine in the diner scene specifically, because when I saw the actual movie, I was like, okay, I understand that choice now. I will withdraw that one comment. But dear God, Hollywood, hire some gaffers.
Yes.
We need gaffers. This is an industry crisis.
Please, for the love of God, if you want to hear me talk about Agatha more, we actually have an Agatha all along vidcast series coming out right now. First episode was edited by me. It's Rain and I. Rain's going to be editing the next couple. We talk about the first 3 episodes. It's fun. It's good. You can listen to it on Spotify and watch it on YouTube. I thought the trailer looked fucking great. I thought the action set pieces looked really good. I thought the way the movie was lit and shot actually looked very interesting. Unlike a lot of other Marvel stuff can at times. And more than anything else, the majority of this movie shot on location. Which, maybe it's a sad state of affairs that I'm being like, ooh, this was mostly shot on location, but
the bar is in hell, dude. It's so rough out here.
I love the Marvel movies, but again, I talk about it in the Deadpool and Wolverine podcast. My perception of Marvel movies is completely warped because, like I said, if any other franchise was like, ooh, this one has lights, what the fuck? I would be unrelenting. Like I said, Mandalorian season 3 broke Star Wars for me. Yet Marvel, I'm still like, let's go. I love the Marvel. I have yet to miss a Marvel movie in theaters since Ant-Man. 2016 onward, I have seen every single Marvel movie in theaters. And with the exception of the Marvels, every single one on its opening weekend too, I think. So, yeah. I'm still on board the Marvel thing, and I think this looks really great. It looks really fun. Bucky has the car flip gun again. He has that gun which first off, if he's doing that shit, flipping cars and shit while being a senator, that's funny. Imagine turning on the TV and fucking Senator, who's the senator people know? Senator Chuck Schumer is doing espionage missions in Nevada or some shit. That would be fucking hilarious. So I kind of support politician Bucky because I think that's funny.
Fair.
I would love to see a politician flip a car. All right. Well, when you flip a car, though, it tends to end rather violently. The people inside kind of get crushed, mushed. It's real gory, right? Which is good because our next topic is actually about Terrifier 3, a very gory film franchise. So France has its film classification system. You know, we have the MPA. France has its own thing. Well, they issued a rare under 18 ban. Anyone under the age of 18 is not allowed to see Terrifier 3. This is the first such ruling they've made in 18 years. The last time they did this was the third Saw movie. Which is funny because the third Saw movie isn't actually all that violent. The third Saw movie, though, is the only Saw movie with tits in it. So it's probably a combination of those.
Yeah.
Tim, have you seen any of the Terrifier movies?
I haven't seen any of the Terrifier movies. I have seen All Hallows Eve, which is the first feature film that Art the Clown appears in. Okay. I've had like some mild curiosity about them. I have no expectations that they will be any good or that I'll be particularly interested in them, but I love a good grindhouse flick. I love some gore. And I've certainly watched plenty of movies specifically for the gore. So I'm mildly curious. Don't really expect it to be anything all that special. And I'll just say my hot take right here. I think Spooky Scary Clowns is just one of the lowest common denominator subgenres of horror. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, it works in It. And I that's really the only example I can think of that I actually like. I have also not seen the Terrifier movies. James the Nerd says she grind my house until I gore. Mods, can we ban him for that, please? No,
let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook. I am not particularly fond of like the marketing. All the marketing and hype for it is like, ooh, it's the goriest movie ever. It's gore-tacular. You're gonna gore till you gore. Gore, 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 gore. Okay, that's great. Do you have anything else to offer? Do you have story, characters, anything? And I might sound like a ripe hypocrite because I'm a huge fan of the Saw movies, but the Saw movies, to me, they're more about the engineering marvels of the traps. How fucking creative that shit gets. It sounds like all this is just Art the Terrifier being like, I got a knife. Blah, 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 blah. Boring. Again, I haven't seen it. Not impressed.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I do think the marketing makes sense to me, at least. Like, they know their audience. They know why people are buying the ticket for it. Again, I do kind of agree they don't look all that interesting, but like they know their audience. I'll give them that much.
I just don't get the appeal. They're not all that interesting. I don't really care for just a gore-a-thon. I need more than gore. You know, there's that podcast we recorded in college when we talked about what the fuck was that movie? The Psycho ripoff. I did not like that movie because the majority of that movie to me just felt like, yeah, look, we have gore. Do you have anything else to offer? No. Oh, you have racism? That's cool. Maybe the Terrifier movies are racist. I don't know. I haven't seen them. Blood Feast has defenders in the chat. You're all wrong. History will vindicate me someday. In like 500
Blood
years,
rocks.
in 500 years when we're all dead, I'll be right. So that's what I think about that. That's what I think about Blood Feast. Not interesting. Terrifier, not interesting. However, you know what is interesting, Tim? The new Clint Eastwood movie trailer, Juror Number 2. Clint Eastwood in his late era has been a more of a hit or miss director, but I'm kind of really into this. What about you?
It looks like it could potentially be interesting. Like, I didn't know really anything about it before watching the trailer from the Google Doc. Um, yeah, I don't know if I've really watched anything Eastwood has directed. He
Ever?
directed Gran Torino, right?
Yeah, he directed Gran Torino. That's where Racism Bad
I
the
have
movie.
not. Yeah, I have not seen that, but it did look questionable.
Clint Eastwood has directed
Um,
many movies.
I may have seen some of his movies.
Unforgiven?
And not realize he was directed by. I haven't seen that.
$1 Million Baby.
I've been meaning to see
You're
that.
fucking with me, right? This is a joke? American Sniper, J. Edgar. Letters from Iwo Jima,
No.
Flags of Our Father, Mystic River?
Nope.
You haven't seen Unforgiven?
Nope.
Then we got to fix this like ASAP, man. You are missing on some heart. Listen, I get it. He's a Republican. He did that weird thing where he talked to an empty chair. But by God, the motherfucker knows how to make some good fucking movies.
I will say, $1 Million Baby is one that I've been meaning to watch for a while. I just haven't yet.
I think the trailer looks great. I think the movie looks really interesting. I love the idea that there's a guy on the jury being like, oh shit, I did this. Would you read that synopsis and you go, what? How? And I can't remember if the trailer explains it or not. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like oh, I hit someone and it was dark. You know, kind of thing.
This whole courtroom is a trap.
It's just Trap 2. It's Trap 2. Oh, baby, yes. Jason Secor brings up another one. True Crime, also a good movie, directed by Clint Eastwood. The Outlaw Josie Wales? Come on, man. Come on, man. He's like a better director than actor.
That's probably fair.
He directed 2 movies that won Best Picture.
Okay.
You haven't seen Unforgiven?
Nope.
I'm sorry. This has ruined my night. I am so caught up on this. The fuck you mean you haven't seen Unforgiven? That's insane. You sound fucking deranged, man.
I'm just vibing here, man.
This is going to come up on your next performance review. We have those at Bomb Squad Productions, by the way, now. Ethan's, yours is also going to be in the next couple of weeks. Your performance review. Well, I guess you're not very familiar with Clint Eastwood's work as a director. You know whose works you are familiar with as a director, though?
Ooh.
Guillermo Del Toro, which is great because he just wrapped filming on his Frankenstein movie. Dude, I'm so hyped for this.
Yeah.
I am so hyped to see Del Toro do Frankenstein. That is so up his alley.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I keep forgetting that that's a thing, and then I'm reminded. I'm just like, yeah, let Guillermo cook. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm excited to see it.
I mean, the cast is incredible. You got Jacob Elordi's playing the monster, which I don't know if you're familiar with him at all. He's really tall.
The name sounds familiar.
He was in Saltburn.
I still haven't seen that.
He's in Euphoria, a show I know you haven't seen.
No.
He's in a lot of like Netflix. He's in the Kissing Booth movies.
I've heard those exist.
Priscilla. He played Elvis in Priscilla.
I never did get around to seeing that. I do want to see it.
What do you do all day, man?
I watch other movies. I don't know.
But it's also starring Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, and Oscar Isaac. Ralph Ineson apparently supposed to have a small part in the movie.
Okay. I can dig some Ralph Ineson.
Totally stacked cast. Like, I love this cast. I'm excited to see Del Toro do Frankenstein. He loves his monsters. And I think there's a lot of potential there. Frankenstein, Jason Secord said this. Frankenstein seems to be making a bit of a comeback lately because Maggie Gyllenhaal's next movie, I believe, is a Bride of Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw the early inklings of it with like Poor Things and Lisa Frankenstein earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And now we're getting some more like straight adaptations.
There's a lot of attraction to Frankenstein. Sorry, go ahead.
It's just an interesting premise, you know.
Never gets old.
So there's a lot you can do with it.
And also going back to Jacob Elordi, Jason Secord brought this up in the chat. He's going to be in the Wuthering Heights movie, which is controversial, as he says, because the character he's playing is very much not a white man in that book. Jacob Elordi very much is a white man. So, whitewashing.
Not great.
But they're not going to whitewash Frankenstein, you know, because he's green. They're going to greenwash him.
Yeah.
Is that offensive? Should I have said that?
Chat, you want to weigh in on this?
Chat, did I offend people with that one? Can I get a weigh in on chat? Chat, what's the temperature check on saying we're greenwashing? Is that a thing I'm allowed to say? I do like Frankenstein. I love Del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors. I'm sure it's going to be great. Now, something I'm not sure is going to be great or not is the fact that apparently, and I'm hashtag canceled in the chat. That's great. Apparently, Batman villains Bane and Deathstroke are getting the movie treatment at DC Studios. It's unsure if these are two separate movies or a weird team-up movie. And Tim, I gotta say, how many fucking Batman projects without Batman in it do we need?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, but also just like when I saw the article headline for that a week or whatever ago, I was just like, yep, those sure are two characters. Like, if I'm fine with seeing a movie with Deathstroke and a movie with Bane. I think putting them together that would be a very weird choice. It made me think like, no, here's what they do. They get the guy who played Deathstroke in the Arrow TV show and put him with Michael Keaton Batman, and they just remake Deadpool and Wolverine but play it completely serious.
I'm kind of into that. It's so funny they made Arrow a Batman character, basically.
Yeah. It's still just as goofy, but they play every comedic bit completely seriously.
Yeah.
I like the Arrow show.
Oh, I like it fine. I just think it's funny they kept giving him Batman villains instead of Green Arrow villains.
Yeah, at least for the first 3 seasons. But yeah, this is I love Deathstroke, so I'm there for anything with Deathstroke. And technically he's not really a Batman villain. He's more of a Teen Titans villain, but he's also fought Batman. He's a DC guy.
He's a DC guy. And I didn't put this on the thing, but this might as well be as good a time to talk about it as any. There's also that Robins movie they announced. I don't know if you saw that at all.
I don't think I heard about that.
So they're making a movie where Dick Grayson and Jason Todd team up as teenage acrobats with no relation to Batman. And it's going to be a live action animation, traditional animation, CG animation, and stop motion animation hybrid movie thing. It sounds like it's trying to push
Okay.
the boundaries. However, the Deathstroke movie, the Bane movie, the Robins movie, none of this matters with DC Studios, because what's going to happen is that Superman Legacy is going to underperform, and they're going to cancel everything, and they're going to fire James Gunn. I'm just making sure everyone knows that now, that that's what's going to happen.
We have to redacted Zaslav.
Like, Superman needs to make, like, at least 700, 800 million worldwide, or else they're just going to cancel everything, because they're bitches. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word.
Zaslav has ruined the film landscape, especially at Warner Brothers.
Well, it's his fault, but also, I mean, at this point, I just expect DC to be very reactionary, you know? I expect Warner Brothers to be reactionary with the DC brand and make poor impromptu decisions. I mean, Joker 2, that's like the 5th or 6th fucking bomb in a row for DC, which, again, makes it all the funnier that Joker 2 will continue the trend of every DC movie after Black Adam making less money than Black Adam.
Yeah.
Truly, the hierarchy of power in the DC universe changed. Truly, it changed.
I will say, I don't think I have seen, I guess, Joker 2, but until Joker 2, I don't think I had seen any of the DC movies after the Batman in theaters. I did see Black Adam on Netflix like a few months ago.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. I think it's hilarious what they did with Black Adam's character, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I saw that movie in Minnesota. I was on vacation. I was a weekend trip to Minneapolis at the time. So I saw it in Minnesota. That was fun.
Nice.
Lovely state. I want to visit it again. And see Black Adam in it again, actually. I'm going to go to the theater. I'm going to say, play Black Adam. They're going to say, sir, that movie came out 3 years ago.
I have the DCP.
Here's the DCP. Sir, we can't play this. And I said, I'm not taking questions.
There we go.
And they say, sir, this is a toaster. And I said, play the movie.
Toaster with a USB cord.
We need more low-budget, high-effort movies with more advertising for it. That's the lesson I learned from Monkey Man this year. Jason Secord says. Is he talking about Planet of the Apes?
No, there was the movie called Monkey Man.
There's a movie called Monkey Man?
The Dev Patel movie.
Oh!
I don't know if this is a bit or
I forgot that's what that movie was called. Sorry.
Yeah.
Also,
Monkey Man.
We have a request from chat. This is a bit from last episode, Tim. I don't know if you saw any of it. We need more low-budget, high-effort movies with more advertising for it. That's the lesson I learned from Monkey Man this year. Folks, we loved Monkey Man, didn't we, folks? We need more low-budget, high-effort movies. They demanded the Trump voice in chat, Tim. It was one person, but I want to make that one person happy. This is their favorite show.
There we go.
And we talked, actually, speaking of things that came up on the last episode of Jump Cuts, the last episode of Jump Cuts aired like 2 days before the trailer for this movie dropped. But we talked about the movie. Dude, Ryan Coogler's Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
This looks fucking awesome, man. I am so pumped for this.
Yeah, I dig this for sure. And like we've mentioned this, I'm not a huge Marvel guy, but like I do really like the Black Panther movies. And I like the Creed movies a lot too. I think Michael B. Jordan is fantastic with whatever you give him. And yeah, this looks great.
It looks great. Black people fighting vampires in the antebellum South? I mean, come on. That's kind of fucking awesome. Antebellum's probably inaccurate. I think this is more like the 19-teens. But still, in the time where segregation's high, I think Haley Steinfeld's playing a vampire. So, I think this movie looks fucking awesome. There's that shot of him just holding the Tommy gun and walking up to the camera at the end of the trailer. I want to, dude. That was worth the $20 for the 40X ticket. Was seeing that shot on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Half the trailers we talk about today played in front of Joker 2.
Yeah.
Almost like they just came out or something.
True.
Yeah. I trust Coogler. I have loved every single movie he has made. Like I think my letterbox average for him is like a 4.8, 4.9 or some crazy shit like that. To me, the worst movie he made was the first Black Panther movie, which is still a really fucking incredible movie.
That's fair.
It's
one of my favorite MCU movies in like phase 3 or whatever.
It was phase 3, yeah, because it was right before Infinity War. We got Red Sky in the chat saying, Haley Steinfeld, oh my god, we're never getting beyond the Spider-Verse. That was supposed to come out in March, man. What the... They were lying to us. That was crazy.
I'm kind of okay with that getting pushed back after learning about the labor shit.
Oh, yeah. All the crazy crunch. I can wait.
Yeah, I am perfectly okay with waiting until like 2030 if that's what it takes.
Yeah, Red Sky's right. We're never getting that next Spider-Verse movie. That shit never coming out, dog. I'm gonna be 30. Bet. It's gonna be 2028. I'm gonna be 30.
There we go.
It's like it was 5 years. It was 5 years from Into to Beyond. Damn, I wasn't even old enough.
Into to after or across.
Across, you're right. I wasn't even old enough to drink when the first Spider-Verse movie came out.
Yeah, you turned 21 in 2019.
I noticed the tone of voice you're using. That's funny. We can't.
I remember because of incidents.
We can't talk about that on the stream. But yeah. 2019, great year. I have no complaints about that year at all. Nothing bad happened to me that year. It was the worst year of my life. Anyway, moving on. This year has been a great year in my life compared to 2019, which was the worst year of my life. And we're going to cap off this great year by going to New York City at the end of the year, which is kind of funny considering Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme movie has begun filming in the past couple of days in New York City. They call me the king of segues. Now, I put this on here because you might know it says Josh Safdie, not the Safdies. Yeah. They've split. Benny wants to focus more on acting. So this is Josh Safdie's first solo directorial effort as in a narrative. Pretty stacked cast. What do you think of this, though? How are you feeling about Safdie going out on his own?
I mean, it happens a lot. Like, it happened with Key and Peele. Peele wanted to direct. Key wanted to keep acting. And yeah, I mean, if Josh is the one who, feels more compelled to direct, let's let him. I loved Uncut Gems. He made one. They made one other movie before that. Good Time, right? Good Time. Yeah, I did love that one too. So yeah, I'm sure whatever he'll make as a solo director will be great. And like sometimes I think some like with the Coens, I think they're strongest as a unit, but sometimes a directing duo can feel like too many cooks in the kitchen. So maybe it'll be for the better that he's directing solo. Who knows? Yeah,
the Coen brothers, I mean, if you ask me, one of them was clearly better than the other. I liked the Macbeth movie okay. Drive Away Dolls from this year was fucking awesome. And I will say Benny Safdie is also going to direct movies still. He's just also focusing more on acting. Mm-hmm. Benny Safdie is directing that Dwayne Johnson Oscar bait movie. So,
gotcha.
Well, Oscar bait. It's a UFC biopic, but it's supposed to be serious, and so people are saying maybe The Rock will get nominated for an Oscar. Josh Safdie has put in an impressive cast for his professional ping pong player movie. Timothy Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Azon, and Tyler the Creator in his acting debut. Are you familiar with Tyler?
I've seen a little bit of what was his show on Adult Swim? Um, I'm blanking on the name of it. I've seen clips of that though.
I'm looking
I'm
him
not
up.
super familiar with him. Loiter Squad, that's what it was called.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with his music,
that.
and he's an excellent musician.
Mm-hmm.
He's made some really, really great stuff. So, like, I'm intrigued to see this. As a Forrest Gump fan, I'm intrigued by the idea of another ping pong player movie. I think we've only scratched the surface of cinematic ping pong playing. I really think there are new avenues to explore.
Let's not forget Balls of Fury.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's a movie that exists in the world.
Anybody in it I would know?
Oh god, what's the name of the grandpa and Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh, James Hong?
Yeah, James Hong is in it. That's probably about it. It's not a good movie.
Motherfucker, Christopher Walken is in this. George Lopez is in this. Maggie Q is in this. Terry Crews is in this. You led with the Everything Everywhere All at Once, Grandpa?
That was the only one I remembered. Again, I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
So I'm hearing that this is the greatest movie ever made, right? That's what you're telling me?
Sure.
Oh,
why not?
Good. Hold on. Oh boy, this was written and directed by the guy that wrote the Baywatch movie. Good.
Let's go.
He also wrote Night at the Museum, Herbie Fully Loaded, The Pacifier. Oh, this is in good hands. I gotta watch this ASAP.
There we go.
It's gonna be the greatest movie ever made when I watch it. But you know what is not gonna be the greatest movie ever made when we watch it?
What's that?
Final piece of news we have on the docket. Scream 7 coming out February of 2026. And I'm gonna be honest, Scream's over for me. I think 6, excellent bookend. You can leave here.
Yeah. That and also Melissa Barrera
That's the other big
got
thing.
fired for supporting Palestine, and it seems like a lot of you fuckers forgot that or didn't care to begin with. And we're just mad that they fired somebody.
Yeah, that was upsetting. Don't like that. And Nev Campbell is back. I don't give a shit because they wrote her out of the last one because she rightfully didn't want to come back unless they paid her more. For the record, I 100% supported that. I supported that. I am disappointed that because they fired her and Jenna Ortega is either too expensive now or refusing to come back.
I think she left it in solidarity, but worded it as just like I'm busy. Sorry.
I think it's a combination of she is legitimately busy. That girl is in fucking everything. Yeah. 2, she's probably too expensive now. When they made that first Scream movie, Jenna Ortega hadn't blown up yet. That was the start of her blowing up.
Yeah.
And 3, out of solidarity. So I think it's a combination of the 3.
Yeah.
And listen, I love the Scream movies. That's like probably my favorite slasher franchise. I think every Scream movie is good, if not great. Like, I think it has the highest hit rate out of all the iconic slashers, you know? Like, even the worst one, Scream 3, still pretty fun.
Yeah, I enjoy watching it, but don't think it's good. I do love the Jay and Silent Bob cameo.
That's great.
That bit is funny.
I also think the Scream 3 twist is the funniest because, like, Nev Campbell is just like, who are you? Like, you can tell that she's like, what the fuck is this? Trying to make it so, like, all of the Scream movies were orchestrated from the beginning was kind of dumb. But also, I'm a fan of Saw movies. I'm not allowed to criticize dumb twists.
Yeah, and, like, I liked 6 okay, but, like, I remember after seeing that, I was like, okay, when we do the next Bomb Squad award show, which unfortunately ended up getting canceled, I was gonna end it on the line, "Who gives a fuck about movies?"
It's good. It's good. I loved Scream 6. I loved it. I love Scream 5 and 6. I think they're both fantastic.
I do love Scream 5. That might be my favorite of the sequels.
My favorite of the sequels was either 5 or 6. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Which makes it all the more frustrating that, like, it's kind of convenient they accidentally ended it on just a perfect enough note to tie a bow around. Like, Scream 6 is supposed to be an open ending, but they accidentally made it a pretty definitive one too. If you never make another one,
yeah,
like Samantha learned how to use the serial killer in her for good.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I'm not seeing Scream 7. At least not in theaters. Maybe I'll pirate it when it comes to digital.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than morbid curiosity.
Yeah, it's a cash grab at this point, and yeah, I think you can easily end it at 6. One trivia bit, just because I love this, in the like Halloween night in the subway scene, you can see one of the people in costume is dressed as Mojo Jojo, which is great because the voice of Ghostface is the voice of Mojo Jojo.
Oh, really?
I just love that.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. All right. Well,
yeah.
That's all I got for the written down news, so I'm going to turn it to the chat. Before we end this episode of Jump Cuts, is there any maybe big news or just anything you want to see us talk about before we end this episode of Jump Cuts, chat? It's up to you now. What do you got? Give me something. I'm ready for it.
Just give me some numbers.
Come on, give me some numbers. Show me some of those combo moves. This is a reference to our Space Jam: A New Legacy podcast. Wow. Feels like a lifetime ago. That was 3 years ago. Jesus. We're coming up on the
times.
Any thoughts on Megalopolis? Okay.
I have not seen it. I know you have. I don't really care.
I liked it, I guess. Joe Vrenick probably would have been a great one to have for that because he loved it. I thought it was fine. I think it's more fascinating than good. Most of the part, here's the thing.
That sounds about right.
It's more than the sum of its parts for me. It's not great. But the stuff that works mostly works. I think it has a good message. I think it also sullies its own message from the fact that Francis Ford Coppola is actively facing sexual harassment lawsuits due to events that happened on the set of this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I think our first ever news topic, or one of our first ever news topics on the show, was Megalopolis.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The AI thing.
It's okay. Like, it's fine. I don't dislike it. I would recommend it if for no other reason than, like, Tim, I do recommend it just because you got to see this shit on the big screen before you lose your chance, man. It's kind of fucking insane. Like, for better or for worse, Coppola is trying to push the medium. I respect that. Even if it's less of a movie and more just a fascinating insight to Coppola's psyche. I was listening to the Weekly Planet, the Mr. Sunday Movies podcast this morning, and they compared it. This is funny because he's been trying to make this movie since the 80s. So there are elements of the script that has been in there since the 80s. Mm-hmm. So when the Weekly Planet podcast called it the Duke Nukem Forever of movies this morning, I found it pretty fitting.
Yeah, that sounds about
pretty
right.
Pretty apt comparison. I'd say it's better than Duke Nukem Forever because there is a more timeless quality to it that Coppola's trying to inject. It has some interesting ideas, but then at the same time, it's like, I've discovered this miracle substance that will revolutionize transportation. And then you see the transportation he invented, and it's just the moving sidewalks you see at the fucking airport. Except it's on like golden things. Also, there's a weird baby at the end that I thought was going to fly away on a carpet, and I wish it did.
There's a miracle substance? They had the substance?
Yeah, no. And spoiler alert for Megalopolis. Real quick, I need to get this out. This movie has archival footage in it, right, Tim? Near the end of the movie. It has archival footage, okay, right? It has archival footage of only 2 things, right? And these 2 things are Adolf Hitler and the Nazis and 9/11.
Okay, then.
I still don't know what point he was trying to make there.
I'm just picturing like a end of Babylon type montage, but it's just fucking Triumph of the Will and 9/11.
Yeah, it's I don't get what he was getting at. Also, the movie ends on like a Pledge of Allegiance, except I pledge allegiance to humanity, and it's like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. It's fascinating. It's not a good movie per se, but it is fascinating, and I ultimately liked it, I guess. Second thing I saw is when's the next Twitch episode? Jump Cuts is a bi-weekly podcast. We do it every other weekend. I don't have an exact date set right now, but the next episode of Jump Cuts will either be on October 19th or October 20th. It depends on how things work out scheduling-wise between me and whoever I get to agree to come on this. Okay, chat. Does anyone else have anything they want to ask us about? Going once. Going twice. Sold to the ending. Yeah. This was episode 3 of Jump Cuts. Thank you so much for watching it live on Twitch if you are watching us live. If you're watching this on YouTube the next day or listening on Spotify, thank you very much for tuning in. Leave a review in the comment section of the audio version. Boost us in the algorithm. Mosey on down order our Patreon. Contribute to our $5 tier. You get commentary tracks. $10 tier, you get a shout out. He's been in the chat all night, Mr. Jason Secord. We appreciate your $10 tier contribution. And Tanya Crap, my mom. Thank you both so very much for the money you provide us. If you're watching on YouTube, comment below and let us know. Are you excited for any of the trailers? What's your favorite Kris Kristofferson song? How fucking awesome does Sinners look? Comment below. Let me know. While you're down there, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon. Thank you so much for tuning in to Jump Cuts. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Farewell.
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."